everyone. I hope you're well today. If you're tuning in on the replay, welcome, welcome. It is lovely to have you here. And those of you that are hopping on live, welcome to you as well. I hope everyone is well today on this wonderful Tuesday. If I have ended up in your feed and you have no idea who I am, my name is Annette Ferguson. I am CEO of Annette & Co, a UK-based accounting firm. I'm a chartered accountant, certified Profit First professional, and small business financial strategist. And what we do is help business owners take home more money from their business for them and their families to enjoy. Now, today's live stream is pretty personal one to me because I'm about to share the most expensive mistake I've ever made in business. It cost me probably 50K. And the worst part, I am a chartered accountant and I was making this mistake for years. So there's a little bit of shame associated with this as well. But before you think this was a bad investment or a failed marketing campaign, which let's face it, we've all had some of those, this wasn't. This mistake is far more insidious. It was happening to me every single month and I was completely blind to it. And this is what I want to share with you today so that you can avoid this mistake, or perhaps if you're making it, you can correct this in your business. Because you see, the mistake I was making was that I wasn't taking a single penny home from my six-figure business, not one penny. Drop me a comment if you have ever felt like your business is successful on paper, but you're not seeing any of that in your personal bank account. I suspect that it's more than just me that has been there. And I know from the conversations that we have with clients that I am definitely not the only one. So story time, let me paint you a picture of the situation. This was back in January 2015. I had been running my chartered accounting firm, Annette & Co, under a slightly different name and guise, but I had been running that for 5.5 years at that point. From the outside, things looked brilliant. Six-figure business, a glowing and growing client base, a team working with me, and friends telling me how inspirational I was that I had built this business. But behind the curtain, I was taking nothing home financially from the business, nothing at all. My husband's wage was completely supporting our family. And my business, despite all this revenue, despite these clients, wasn't contributing a single penny to our household. And here's the thing that makes this even more ridiculous. My pricing wasn't cheap. I was charging market rates, sometimes above market rates, but the money was all disappearing. Every time I got a new client, it seemed like my costs would increase too. More software licenses, more time for the team, more this, more that. And there was never any extra for me. I always kept thinking just the next client, just the next client, just the next client. And it never materialized. But here was the real problem. You see, I was looking at my business as if I was entitled to the spare money. And there really was never any spare. Why? Because I'd never planned for there to be any spare. The wake-up call came at probably sometime around 3 a.m. on a January morning in 2015. I had a 6-week-old son who did not sleep, which meant, of course, neither did I. I'd actually taken no maternity leave because I didn't think my business could cope with it. So during the day, I was trying to balance looking after a tiny baby and running a business. And in all honesty, I wasn't doing amazingly well at any of those. I was exhausted. I was checking emails on my phone with snippets of time, arranging client calls during nap times, and really just trying to hold it all together. And at this 3 a.m. in January, I was feeding my son and I was reading on my Kindle, as you do when you're up in the middle of the night and you have a baby that won't sleep if they're not on you. And I stumbled across a book called Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. I devoured that book over the next couple of nights, and it showed me something that as a chartered accountant, I should have known, but somehow completely missed. My natural assumption was that since I was a chartered accountant, I would just click with the money side of my own business. I could do tax returns in my sleep and I could handle clients' accounts and bookkeeping. So the money side of my own business should be no problem, right? Except there were massive problems because I wasn't paying myself anything, which should have really set off some pretty huge alarm bells. A business that's more than a year in and is paying the owner nothing does have some issues and they need to be sorted quickly. 5.5 years in, I was just so stupid. What on earth was I thinking? Reading this book made me ask myself a crucial question. Why on earth have I not been looking at my business as a CFO would, a chief financial officer, a financial director, whichever terminology you want to use? Thing is, before working for my business, before running my business, I worked in corporate. I worked in oil and gas. I worked in investment banking. And in that world, we did departmental budgets and firm-wide budgets. If the actual numbers weren't very, very close to the budgeted numbers, something had gone very wrong. The stock market would react accordingly because it believed, and rightly so, that business leaders should be able to predict with great accuracy actually what profit the business would be making each quarter. But this entire concept has been completely lost for 99.9% of small businesses. No budgets, no financial planning. That is the norm. And this might just explain why, on average, business failure is also, unfortunately, the norm. What I realized was if detailed financial planning can be done for multi-million pound businesses with hundreds or thousands of moving parts, why on earth can't it be done for a small business? And so why couldn't I do this for myself? And I've got something in my eye. The answer, however, was simple. Because I could. I just hadn't yet. So let me break down what this mistake actually cost me. Because for 5.5 years, I should have been paying myself at least $3,000 a month for my 6-figure business. And that's quite frankly conservative. $3,000 a month for 66 months, £198,000 is what I could have, should have, would have taken home. But I took home zero, nothing, nada. But it gets worse because I wasn't paying myself. It meant that my husband was carrying the entire financial burden for our family. It meant that we had little to no personal savings or emergency fund in the business. It meant I wasn't contributing to my pension. And there was none of that financial independence that you want from running a successful business. When I factor in things like lost pension contributions, opportunity costs, stress, and the impact on home life, the simple mistake of not planning for profit cost me well over £50,000 in real terms. And remember, I was a chartered accountant and I was making this mistake. Imagine how many other business owners are doing the same thing right now. So armed with this new understanding and the cash management principles that I had learned from the Profit First book, I set out to build my very first profit plan. But I didn't just copy what I'd read. I adapted things to UK businesses for the way that we actually work, our tax system, our business culture. And I created what is called the Profit Plan Method, a complete system for planning and managing profit in your business. The core principle is simple. Instead of hoping there's going to be money left over to pay yourself at the end of the month, you plan your profit allocation at the beginning of the year. The profit plan has 7 parts: vision, knowing where you want to go; 2, money leaks, plugging the holes in your bucket; 3, the revenue plan, realistic income projections; 4, owner's pay, what should you actually be taking home; 5, team, planning for the right people at the right time; 6, profit, allocating money for growth and reserves; and 7, the implementation strategy, making it all happen. But here's the key: it's not just about the numbers, it's about changing your mindset from "I'll pay myself if there's money left over" to "paying myself is planned, non negotiable, and part of running this business." The thing is, for me, the results were incredible. Within 18 months of implementing my very first profit plan, my business was contributing so strongly to our family's finances that my husband actually left his full-time job and became a stay-at-home dad to look after our son and our daughter, who was on the way at the time. Today, I don't work 60-hour weeks. I work a standard 40-hour week. I can take holidays and do hobbies that I love. And I'm there for my kids when they need me. And my business now is more profitable than ever. But the best part is what this has also done for our clients. Now we implement the profit plan method with all clients that come on board, and have done for a number of years now. And that is hundreds of businesses in the UK. I've seen business owners go from barely paying themselves to taking home 5,000 plus a month. I've seen tradespeople build 6 months of reserves while doubling their owner's pay. I've seen professional services firms finally achieve the financial freedom that they started their business for. And it is incredible the feedback that we get about the clarity that people have with a profit plan in place. Here's what I've learned after implementing the profit plan with hundreds of UK businesses. The mistake I made really isn't about money. It's about mindset. When you don't plan for profit, you don't pay yourself properly, you devalue your own contribution to the business. You create unsustainable working patterns. You make emotional rather than strategic business decisions. And you build a business that depends entirely, typically, on you working in it. But when you implement proper profit planning, you start thinking like a CEO, not just a technician. You make decisions based on data and not desperation. You build a business that can run ultimately without you, and you create genuine wealth, not just revenue. The profit plan isn't just about paying yourself more. It's about building a business that serves your life instead of consuming it. Now, I could spend the next hour going through every detail of the profit plan method, but I've actually written it all down for you because I have the complete methodology in my book called The Profit Plan. It includes our full 7-step system that I've outlined. It includes my complete story of the 3 a.m. moment to where I am today. We have real case studies from UK businesses. There is also templates and worksheets that you can download to support the book as well. This book normally sells on Amazon Kindle, but what I have done is I've actually turned that into a free digital copy as well. So if you want to get a copy of the book, the link is both in the description to this video and on the screen now as well. So that is there for you to head to, and you can download a completely free copy of the book. The thing is, here's why I'm giving it away. I made this costly mistake because I didn't know better, and I don't want other business owners to make the mistake. Even if you just implement the owner's pay planning from chapter 5, you'll probably save or make more money than most business courses cost you. So don't wait another 5 years like I did, and don't let your business success be an illusion while you are personally struggling, because your business should be funding the life you want and not just keeping you busy. Now, if there are any questions on this, I would love to open up the questions. If anyone has anything that they want to know, I am really happy to answer any questions that you have. Because that 3 a.m. moment on January 2015, feeding my son and reading about business and finance changed everything for me and my family. It took me from being a successful looking business owner who was taking home nothing to someone who genuinely has the financial freedom and a business that serves my life. And the profit plan method is my way of making sure that transformation happens for you too. So please do make sure that you download your free copy of the book. As I said, you can read my full story in there and you can start implementing this system in your business as well. Don't make the same mistake I did. Don't wait 5 years to start paying yourself properly. Your business should be funding your dreams, not your stresses. I really do appreciate everyone who has joined me today in this session, whether you are watching live or on the replay. I know your time is incredibly precious, so I really do appreciate you spending some of that with me. I will be back again next week, same time, same place, 12 midday on Tuesdays. Wherever you are watching today is where you can find me. Until then, start building your profit plan and start paying yourself what you should be. Take care, and I'll see you all soon.